What's going on, people? Welcome to the Randumb Things Podcast, a podcast about random things. This podcast was dreamt up from all of the conversations I've had with my friends, both at work and out of work, and all the dumb shit we talk about. And I just kind of wanted to throw it together in podcast form and see if we can't make something fun happen. So I'm Kevin Duffy. These are my esteemed guests on the first episode, Dan Bagarella and John Ackerman. What's going on, fellas?
Hello.
So, Dan, I work with John, so I know that I partake in a lot of dumb work conversations with him. Have you, in your life, encountered dumb work conversations that you wish you were recording?
Oh, of course.
Excellent.
I mean, I've worked with a bunch of dumb people. So with dumb people comes dumb conversation.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Well, I know that John, multiple times, John is a source for like great things to talk about that just make me roll my eyes and scratch my head, and I'm just like, Jesus Christ, why we need to record this? So this is that brainchild brought to life. So we're gonna start off with a kind of a warm-up question. It's a good one, and this is one that we've definitely talked about at work, and I'm interested to see what your answers are to this question, which is, what is the largest land predator you could kill with your bare hands? So, Dan, I guess I'll start with you because John and I have had this conversation, although it's been a while. So,
Well, I'm going to take the Duggan route and say I could probably take down an emperor penguin. No, I'm kidding. So I've honestly given this a lot of thought. I have two small dogs, and we got bears, we have coyotes around, foxes, and I think bare hands, I could take out a coyote.
A coyote?
I think I could take down a coyote. And I mean, especially if it was going at one of my dogs, I get that dad strength. And I think I would just have to like run over and like thunder kick it or give it a fucking suplex and break its neck. I've dreamt about just fucking choking out a coyote.
A coyote's pretty fucking big, dude. That's like, I mean, I've seen a coy wolf, which I guess might be a little bigger in person,
sure.
And that fucking thing bounded across the goddamn front lawn of my sister's house like it was a fucking dire wolf, and it was like terrifying. So I've never seen a coyote in person to know how big they get.
I think coyote's a realistic answer, man. It really is. It's realistic. I mean, you look at the fact that it's got jaws. It doesn't have any claws. It only has toenails, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're looking at a positive way of going about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I mean, it's like I said, that dad strength. and I'm telling you, when I take that fucker out, I'm going to take it to a taxidermist and I'm going to make a fucking coyote jacket with a hood.
That's what I'm talking
about. And I'm
about.
going to wear that motherfucker every time I go out to take my dogs out. It's just like, let this be a lesson
to the other coyotes.
Fuck with me.
Okay, coyote. That's bigger than I expected anyone to come in with. John, what do you got today?
So I was discussing this with my wife back and forth, and I sat there and coyote came to mind. I'm not gonna lie, came to mind. I'm like, I could take a coyote. It's only got one really point of actual danger, which is its mouth. I'm not worried about anything else about it, right? So I was like, it's not dangerous enough, right? So I'm thinking to myself about what will fuck me up, but at the same time, I think I could take it, right? So I'm going to come out looking like shredded hamburger, but I think I could take a bobcat, 40-pound bobcat.
Bobcat.
Yeah.
I can take it. Hell of a fight.
I can tell you, I too wrote down bobcat. I think I could take a bobcat. Well, first I wrote, I think I could take out a lynx, and then I was like, "Whoa, what the fuck's the difference between a lynx and a bobcat?" And I was
Kevin.
I did well. The lynx have those like particular little fucking things on their ears too, but
they're bigger too.
They're roughly about the same size though. Lynx gets up to about 48 inches tall, about 30 to 40 pounds. Bobcat gets up to about 50 inches tall, same weight range though. So I was like, lynx or bobcats, probably the highest I could go. But their claws are fucking big. Like I looked up.
They are like a giant cat.
Yeah.
And I've been fucked up by a cat before.
This
is like a 14-pound cat, and you're like quadrupling that.
Yeah.
Well, this is something that came up when we are at work. Is that I go, most people can't handle their everyday average house cat, right? They have no idea how strong that thing really is if it came and attacked you. And everybody's like, well, I could go ahead, I could fuck that thing up. No, you really have no idea how strong it is, right?
No,
Those people, they kill like, I think it's what, like 1 billion small animals and birds every single year, all set. Most dangerous predator on the planet.
Well, let me tell you something. I'm allergic to cats, so that's the other thing about the bobcat or the lynx. Like, maybe physically I could take it out, but then like I get it in a headlock and I start like, like the throat starts closing in. I don't think I thought this through. I'm gonna change my answer to a poodle.
Poodle. Now, are we talking standard or toy?
Standard poodle. Point. Standard poodle, very hypoallergenic.
Standard poodle. That's a big dog. That's the same size as a coyote. Why can't you just take down a coyote?
I guess I could, but
you probably feel a lot less bad about killing a coyote than you would about killing a poodle. Is the poodle rabid?
I don't know. Like my dog, I have. My dog is, what the fuck is a Labradoodle? So upstairs, and he's big. He's a big fucking dog, but he's a bitch. He's totally afraid of me. And like every time he comes near me, and I'm like, go to your crate. He's like, whoa. So I don't know. My dog's tall though. So, I mean, I'm not afraid of him at all, but that's a domestic. So the coyote, it freaks me out a little because like I said, that coy wolf that I saw, literally, I almost drove onto my sister's neighbor's lawn because I saw the fucking thing bounding across the guy's front lawn. I was like, oh, look at that fucking thing. And she would warn me about the coy wolf like all week. Like, oh, we saw coy wolves in our backyard. And then the fucking thing was huge. So I'm just imagining a coyote's about that size, but maybe it's not. So.
Well, what if we take the predator option out of this? Do you think you could take a deer?
No.
No? What if it was just a doe?
Doe or stag?
Doe.
Nope.
Just a doe.
I got the shit scared out of me just last week. I have my dogs out in the backyard, and when I take them out in the backyard, they just roam free. And I always check because we constantly have deer back there. And this thing was like hiding behind my shed or something. And I did not see it. And I'm about halfway in the yard. And then all of a sudden, I just hear. It starts like snorting and getting pissed off and like jumping away, and it turns and it's like stomping at me, and I'm like, this thing's gonna fuck me up because the white-tailed deer is the most deadly animal in North America.
That's correct.
For two reasons: because of car accidents, because they're dumb fucks and they just stand in the middle of the street, and number two, people thinking that they're so cute and walking up to them, and they will not think twice about caving your fucking skull in with their hooves. And these are doe.
Oh yeah, well that's the other thing you have that people don't realize is that they typically go up to these things during the rut, which is during this time of year right now, right? Yep. They don't have sex all year long, and they in this period of time, right? They only get like a month and a half, right? And they're just literally fucking it's all they're doing is fucking and running, right? That's all they're doing. And they will kill you. Yeah, they will kill you, right? Some of them, like it's been documented that some of these stags will go ahead and literally fucking run themselves to death, right? And it happens on the regular, right? So I think I could take a doe if it's small enough.
Small enough doe. You know, it's 6 months old. It just lost its little Bambi spots, and you're just gonna go over there and.
I'm going to Conan punch it right in the face. I'm going to Conan punch it right in the face and shatter my hand.
I just listened to this audiobook called The Only Good Indians. It's kind of a horror story in a way, but it's literally about the deer woman, which is a Native American legend of like a woman who's like half deer, half human. Basically comes like haunting like people that are either that do things against the Native American culture or against Native Americans that fuck up their own culture and like try and like go against the ways of the tribe and shit. It was an okay book. It wasn't that great, but made me think twice about deer. So, although I guess it was an elk. She was an elk woman, not necessarily a deer woman.
Much larger, by the way.
It is, but still, deer woman, elk woman, same thing. It's scary. So,
you know what I wouldn't fuck with and is actually pretty small, and I actually did try and fuck with once, is a fisher.
Fisher cat?
Oh, you're stupid.
It was wandering around my backyard, and I went outside with my gun, and I was gonna pop that fucking thing, and I slipped on ice and broke my ass, and the thing just looked at me and
it
was
came.
dumb, and I'm on my back laying there broken, and I'm like, this thing's gonna eat my fucking face, and it just walked off.
And then I shot myself in the foot.
Yeah, those things are vicious. My dad and I went hunting once, and we get out there, and he's walking to his tree stand, and I just hear this blood-curdling scream two times. And my dad, Kevin's met my dad.
I love your dad.
I don't know what the fuck he was thinking. He was thinking I was making deer calls. And I'm like, what fucking calls do you think I have in my bag that sound like that? But when the sun started to come up, not a fucking bird was chirping, not a squirrel. There was nothing. It was just dead. And I'm like, there was a fucking Sasquatch here.
Yes.
Sasquatch was in the woods. So I'm Googling it. And for the longest time, I was just calling it creature.
You're Googling. Wait. What was the Google? When Sasquatches come by, does all sound?
No, I was just trying to find something that sounded like that scream, and then I finally found a fisher, and I was like, that was it. I said he must have stepped on a fucking fisher as he was walking out there in the pitch black. It screamed at him and ran away, and that sound just made everything else be like, nope, I'm staying in my hidey hole today.
Fisher cats literally sound like a young child having his arms ripped off.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
Yeah, it is a horrifying sound.
It is.
There's been documented cases of those things killing German shepherds.
Yeah.
They had a small pack of them run through Plastow up where I live in the area that I live in. There was a small group of them that came through, and there's a massive wild stray cat population that was out in Plastow at the time.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. It destroyed them. The cat rescue people came in, and they were literally just snatching cats up left and right, trying to get them out of there because those things were destroying them.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ!
Oh yeah, dude,
they're
horrific.
Small, but I'm not going back out there to slip on some ice and break my ass.
This isn't a predator story at all, but it is kind of related. When I was 16, a friend of mine had two friends of mine live very close to each other, Ed Castronova and Fred Sheldea. You guys probably know Fred. I don't know if you guys know Ed really, but anyways, they lived basically like a street apart, but we could cut through a backyard to get to where Fred's street was. And one day there was a group of like 5 of us walking across this thing, and someone goes, "There's a skunk over there," just like that, calmly, and we're like, "What?" And then we turn and look, and this fucking skunk, which was standing in the middle of this yard, literally did one of these. It went, huh? It came bolting at us, full speed. I mean, it didn't run away from us at all. And we fucking booked it. And this yard that we were cutting through had a setup like this between the 2 yards. It was little tree, kind of like tree shrub, rock boulder. Tree shrub, rock boulder, all across the backyard. There's and so we run and jump through, and I want to say Fred and I come clear over the other side. Ed Castronova comes flipping through because he hit the rock. His knee.
Oh, jeez.
He hurt his knee screaming in the backyard. There was a girl, Katie Goodrich, with us at the time. We left her in the dust in the yard, screaming, "Well, this is a skunk!" And then eventually she came running over. She's like, "You left us!" And then Ed's screaming his knee. We don't know where the skunk is, but I'm like, "Get him up! We gotta get it! Keep going!" And the guy in the backyard's like, "What's going on back here?" I'm like, "Sorry, my friend just busted his knee on your property." He's like, the fucking insurance." It was a nightmare. The skunk literally saw us. As soon as we made eye contact with it, it charged. So if you see a skunk in public, obviously you want to avoid it. But I had no idea they charged people, but apparently that's something they do. So
they're borderline fearless, dude.
Yeah.
So
I've seen some of them take pellet gun shots and not even flinch. So yeah,
shrug it off.
Oh, they really do.
All right. That's enough of this topic. This is supposed to be a cold open. It's 14 minutes long. So, the Halloween is tomorrow. So the Halloween season is clearly upon us. So the rest of these topics are going to be totally related to Halloween. The first one being, hold on. Let's go. Why is this not showing? What is the best Halloween costume you've ever worn? So, John, we'll kick it to you first on this one.
I used to do these haunted houses at my friend Danielle's house, and one year we were doing a haunted hayride type of thing, and I was a scarecrow. I did the whole shebang, like old dirty jeans, like I rubbed them in mud and dirt and everything else. I had straw sticking out my. I had just gotten off of work. I had straw sticking out the top and everything else, and I sat there and scared children for about 45 minutes, and it was the most fun I've ever had being in costume. I scared some adults too, but the kids where they were just literally dropping their candy and running, fantastic.
That's great. Daniel?
So I kind of took it as not working Halloween costumes, and I have a one when I was a kid, one when I was an adult.
Sure, whatever.
But I totally worked at Canterbury Lake Park at Screamfest.
Nice.
So the costumes that they put me in there were $700 silicone full face masks, stuff like that.
That's cool.
So I mean, those are pretty cool. But as a kid, I want to say I was probably in third or fourth grade, and I really, really wanted to be a werewolf. So I get this cool get up with the fake teeth, and we paint my nose so it's brown, and then my dad spends a half hour, 45 minutes just gluing crepe hair to my fucking forehead and my cheeks and my chin, and then slick my hair back and everything, and I was like, I look like a real fucking werewolf, yo. I was a real werewolf, and I didn't care what anybody else told me, but that
the way you just described it with the slick back hair, though, I'm literally picturing Teen Wolf, though.
Yeah, it pretty much it looked like if you took Teen Wolf and you shrunk him down. I was gonna say halfway, but it was Michael J. Fox, so maybe
a quarter of the way.
Yeah. But as an adult, I used to do a pumpkin carving contest, and one year I absolutely nailed Guy Fieri. Absolutely nailed it.
Dressing as him?
Yeah.
I thought you meant you carved him into a pumpkin.
Yeah.
No,
impressive.
I dressed as Guy Fieri.
Nice.
And I mean, well, some people thought I might have been Joey Fatone. But I'm like uncultured swine. I'm Guy Fieri. Welcome to Flavortown, bitch.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
The best costume I ever wore, there was this lady who used to work at our company years and years ago. Used to have these Halloween parties. It was down in the South Shore too. It was a fucking drive. And one year, a bunch of our coworkers were like, "We're gonna go as the Beatles," but I didn't want to go as the fucking Beatles. I'm like, "That sucks. I don't want to go as the Beatles." And they were like, "That well, there's four of us. You should go as the Beatles." And I refused. They were so mad at me because they were like, "Well, I guess we're just gonna go as three people dressed as the Beatles, you fucking asshole." But I went as he had just died. I went as Patrick Swayze, zombie Patrick Swayze. So I did gray skin, but I had his literal exact outfit from Dirty Dancing, fucking folded up shirt, and I had this fucking wig that I was like, this looks just like his curly hair. It's perfect. It didn't look anything like his curly hair. And I went, and people looked at me as if I was in blackface, because it was that dark, the gray. And they're like, "Are you supposed to be Little Richard?" That's exactly what I look like. And I was like, "Oh my God, I did not think this through at all." I'm like, "It's gray. It's gray." They're like, "Well, you don't look like zombie Patrick Swayze. You just look like sick Richard, sick Little Richard." This is not what I planned at all. And then the runner-up to that had to be, again, my costumes always fail. I went as Wayne and me and my buddy Vado went as Wayne and Garth to a Halloween party in UMass Lowell, and I was Garth. I had the long wig and the glasses, but with my nose and the glasses, the way I look, everybody thought I was Andy Dick. Terrible.
Nice.
Terrible. Everybody came up to me like, "Andy Dick?" And I was like, "No, it's obviously Garth. I'm Garth Elgar." And nobody got it. And it's because fucking Vado, he had the hat with the fucking hair, and he refused to wear it, all that. He's like, "It's making me itch." I'm like, "But nobody's gonna know who you are. You're just a guy in a black t-shirt now." Whatever. So
I got the
Oh, that's that's great.
That's not bad at all, man.
That's great. I should have had you guys get digital files ready to show the cameras, but I don't think I have a photo of me as as dead little Richard. So.
I think my wife has the photos of me being the scarecrow, so could probably pull one up.
All right. So that'll move on to Halloween topic number 2, which is, what is your favorite Halloween candy? Dan, I'll go to you first.
I'm surprised that this is even a question because the best Halloween candy is the Reese's Pumpkins.
Out of your
And
mind.
I will fight somebody if they disagree with me.
I eat a
I
whole
do.
bag of those every year, but
Yeah.
My wife enjoys them a great deal. I do not.
Are you allergic to peanut butter?
No.
Oh.
No.
he just likes to be different.
Because I would give you a pass if you were allergic to peanut butter, but you're wrong. Whatever you're going to say, you're wrong.
My wife gave me a funny look when I said mine to her, so
I'll save yours for the end there because it's definitely going to be terrible.
It's going to be Milk Duds.
No, it's going to be. I love when people have those Necco paper things you can lick the fucking top of. No, for me it was hard to decide because I do love a Reese's Pieces or a Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. I mean, or I really enjoy when I get a Milky Way. I don't know what it is about a Milky Way, but I love a Milky Way. So my choice is Milky Way.
So have you ever noticed there is a layering effect that happens with these candy bars? So think of it, Three Musketeers, chocolate covered nougat.
Yep.
Milky Way, chocolate covered nougat with caramel in it.
Mm-hmm.
Snickers, chocolate covered nougat with caramel and
peanuts.
They just keep adding one thing and they call it something completely
The caramel's a little different between the Milky Way and the Snickers, though. It's not the same.
It is, and I find that the nougat is different in the Milky Way compared to the Three Musketeers. It seems a bit lighter and airy.
Are they all made by Mars? Is that the company that makes all of them? Mars bars, or is that?
Yeah.
I don't know if they got bought out by somebody.
Okay.
I don't know. They're all made by this. I know they're all made by the same company.
Because if it's the same company, they were just like, okay, we can't. I wonder what came out first, because if they came out with the Three Musketeers first and they were like, we can improve this, and then they're like, we can improve this with after the Milky Way, and then they just literally went down that path where they were like, just add a little more to everyone.
I feel like you'd look it up, and Three Musketeers was invented in like fucking 1826.
Probably.
Like, how is that possible? Somebody came up with this back then.
Yeah.
I love that. It's like the company John and I work for. I swear they have a thing that said they were invented they came out in like 1862 or some shit.
Yeah.
I'm like the thing. I'm like, how is a pharmaceutical company something that came out at that time? That doesn't make sense at all. But
snake oil.
Yeah, seriously.
Ginseng.
But John, I gotta hear, what is your favorite Halloween candy?
I'm ready for this hate. Mr. Goodbar.
Ah.
I used to hate them. Because I was just anti every kind of nut, except for peanut butter, of course. But in the past couple of years, you get the little, the little bar, the bag of little bars
in the Hershey bars.
Yeah, the Good Bar, Special Dark, and the regular Hershey. When I dig in, I pull out a Mr. Goodbar. I'm like, ooh, nice.
Dan, I'm not even lying to you. Same way. I would sit there with Reese's, Snickers for the most part, and Three Musketeers, but
it's Reese's.
Reese's.
Don't even get me started on mispronouncing something. All right, who makes a Mr. Goodbar?
I have no idea.
Hershey's.
Yeah.
Hershey.
Hershey.
Yeah. My wife says Hershey.
What?
And I'm like, that's not right. And she's like, yeah, it is. And I'm like, no, it's Hershey. She's like, no, it's Hershey. And I'm like, no, it's not. I'm like, SH makes a sh sound.
Well,
Hershey.
What made me be so gung-ho on the Reese's thing is everybody, especially where we live, everybody says Reese's Pieces. And I said it too for years, but then I was like, why the fuck am I saying Pieces? It's not Pieces, it's Pieces. And then I'm like, why would they be called Reese's Pieces? That's a stupid name. And I'm like, because it's Reese's Pieces, you fucking idiot. Obviously. So, yeah,
I've
that
never touched
connection.
that candy
I've never
ever.
gone back, and now I make sure everybody knows it.
I've never touched that candy ever. Reese's Pieces. Reese's Pieces does best.
Reese's
Yeah.
Pieces.
I just don't do it. I don't like that stuff.
Listen, I'll have to try to give your Mr. Goodbar another chance, but when I get that bag of mixed Hershey's, I can tell you that the dark chocolate and the Mr. Goodbar are always what's left at the end of that bag. And instead of even my kids don't want it, my wife doesn't want it, that whole thing just goes in the fucking trash.
Because I think what always bugged me was I was like, fuck almonds. I don't like them. And I think what really does it for me with the Mr. Goodbar is the fact that they are like so finely chopped, and then they're just kind of in with like Hershey's chocolate, where you're like okay, like
You don't feel like you're getting
you take an almond joy, and it's like you have a mound of fucking coconut, which is already hard enough to chew, and then you add a full fucking almond on top of it. And it's just like you open it up and it's like protruding like a fucking sweatpant boner, and you're like, now I have to fucking eat this, and you're like, I'm out. But it's chopped up in the Mr. Goodbar, so I'm down. I'll fucks with it.
You like a drizzle? You like an almond drizzle?
Yeah, I'd be fine with that. Even like slivers or slices. I mean, but anything past that, although I do really enjoy the wasabi and soy sauce almonds, the dusted almonds there. I mean, you can't even, it's like eating like wasabi peas. They're great.
Okay.
I'll eat those, but.
So coconut's a weird. So it's so funny. Just the other day at work, one of our coworkers loves coconut stuff too, and he's like, "Oh, I like an almond joy." And my first reaction is gross because I don't like the texture of a coconut at all. But I love coconut flavored things. Like that's a flavor I enjoy on other things. Like a coconut soft serve, it's fucking delicious. Like coconut rum, I like. It's just little things like that I don't mind. So I had an almond joy the other day for the first time in years. And I don't have the almond issues you do, Dan. And I actually quite enjoyed the fucking almond joy. I was surprised at how much I liked it.
I don't like the way it looks.
I don't like coconut in general. So I don't like the way it tastes.
You just have to. I mean, I don't mind the taste, and I'll eat like a mounds every once in a while. But it's just sitting there chewing it, and then it's like fucking glitter. 3 days later, you're pulling coconut out of your teeth, and you've brushed your teeth 19 fucking times, and then all of a sudden you're like, "What the fuck is that?" And you're like, "Oh, great, another piece of coconut. Where was that hiding?"
I don't care if you. I mean, I thoroughly enjoy the taste of a coconut, but there's no way that I've ever eaten a coconut and not felt like this is an invasive presence in my mouth. Like it shouldn't feel this way to eat something. So that's how I feel about the coconut. I love the taste, hate the texture. So, but I did enjoy that almond joy I had the other day. That was a surprise. But hang on, we got some comments here. Let's see what we got.
Oh, comments.
Yep.
People are actually watching.
Let's see. Let's go to the top. Gladly says, wasn't expecting a candy conversation when I clicked, and that's pretty random. He says, Mr. Goodbar is great.
Hell yeah.
And then
Rick's 525 is out of their fucking mind.
Yeah.
Circus peanuts
are ludicrous. Sorry, should be committed. Circus peanuts are the Italian cookie of candy.
Oh, Dan loves Italian cookies.
I'll eat every Italian cookie. But I used to eat circus peanuts a lot. And you remember you used to get it in like that thick cellophane bag, and it was just like paper, like pressed over the top of it. I would tear that fucker open with my teeth, and I would eat them by the fucking fistful. And circus peanuts to me are now one of those things that I've eaten too many in one sitting, where just thinking about it makes me want to gag.
That's how I feel about sour cream and onion Pringles. My kids have them all the time, but as a kid, I ate them so often that I got like sick to my stomach one day from eating so many of them that I literally can't even like take one without feeling sick immediately.
Dude, I look at candy corn and I'm like, oh my God, I don't know how anybody eats this shit.
I had one piece of candy corn the other day and it was all right. It's just wax. It's like eating
terrible.
Nothing. It's fucking weird.
Those are those candy pumpkins too. They're awful.
Oh my God, candy pumpkins are right up there with circus peanuts for me. I used to house those things. Housed them. Now I can't even look at them.
There's so much. It's so much worse than the candy corn too. It's the same fucking like texture, but somehow that added like I don't know half of a candy corn you get with the pumpkin. No, it's like 5 candy corns in one. It's too much. It's too much.
Well, because candy corn is kind of like hardened on the outside and softer on the inside. And you get the same thing with the pumpkin, except that softer inside is 4 times the size of a candy corn. So then you just have like mouthful of candy corn jizz.
Who pretends to like candy corn? Nobody pretends to like candy corn.
Some people do enjoy them. They have to. How could they still be in business? Who the fuck buys them?
They're not in business.
My dad is keeping candy corn. My dad is keeping candy corn in business.
Really?
He buys a fat sack of candy corn. He eats the candy corns. My mom eats the big old fucking pumpkins.
Man.
That's disgusting. It's an old person candy.
It's wicked gross.
It's an old person candy.
Werther's Original's an old person candy.
I like a Werther's Original.
I'll do a Werther's Original.
Soft or hard. I will take either version of it.
I mean, you got to go classic. You got to go classic hard.
Pladley says people pretend to like candy corn. Let my ass off. They do. Nobody actually likes it. Although rough. John, I'm surprised because John is notorious for bad takes, and I'm surprised that you don't actually enjoy candy corn just because everybody else hates it.
Hated it since I was a kid.
Okay.
So I think Bricks 525 and John are kindred spirits here because Bricks 525 is just saying that candy corn is the GOAT, and I think it's just to be different. And I know that John likes Mr. Goodbar just to be different.
He says it's the Rockstar candies.
Rockstar candies.
That's good stuff. All right. I love the comments, people. Keep sending them in. They're just great. So the next topic we're going to go to is here we go. What's your favorite scary / Halloween season movie? So
Kevin, you get to go first on this one.
Okay.
I'm asking you that question.
Well, that's easy because my favorite movie to watch this time of year, and I always watch it by myself because nobody will ever watch it with me in my house. I love the movie Trick or Treat. It's a horror movie. It's broken up into 4 segments. It's like a little episodic thing inside of a movie there. And it's just great. It introduced like a totally new character who's like, he's not really like a slasher, but he's like the spirit of Halloween. His name's Sam, for Sam Hain. And I don't know, it's a fun movie. It's not overly like scary as much as it is like just kind of suspenseful there's a couple like gory scenes, but overall I liked it. And it created some rules for Halloween that I'd never had a note about before that I don't really follow myself now, but it's really enjoyable. And then my classic brain goes to Ernest Scared Stupid, which is I'm afraid to show my kids because I'm pretty sure that the troll scared me as a kid, and I was like into Halloween and scary shit. Like I was seeing movies way before I should have, but Ernest Scared Stupid, that fucking troll is scary, and I think it'll give my kids nightmares. So
especially when he turns and it's just like it's like all zoomed in on his face.
The scariest scene in the movie is the girl thinks he's under her bed, so she bends over to check. And then she rolls back over. Oh, he's not there. And she rolls over in bed, and he's fucking right there in bed with her. Like that's like wicked scary. And kids should not watch that movie.
That was good. That was great stuff. You know, I did watch Trick or Treat this season, and one thing that I don't think I realized in years past watching it is that Sam only actually kills one person.
Yes.
He comes close. He comes close to Brian Cox.
Yes, but then Brian Cox gives him the candy. But the girl he kills at the beginning is the least deserving of the kill, too. All she does is try to take down the Halloween decorations early. But she was like,
she also made her boyfriend / husband blow out the jack-o'-lantern before Halloween was over.
I know, but I like that she's killed in the opening of the movie. I love that. I think that's a great tone for the movie. But when you see the rest of like the shitty people in the movie, you're just kind of like, well, that girl really wasn't so bad. She probably deserved another chance. But you got to start off with a real scare. So, is that the girl from Lost? By the way, the blonde girl at the beginning of that. The blonde girl at the beginning of that.
That's Leslie Bibb.
Leslie Bibb.
Yeah, she's Ricky Bobby's wife in Talladega Nights.
Oh, that's who she is. Yes. She looks like the girl from Lost who was also in Taken and Iron Man 2. Iron Man 1, maybe.
Maggie something.
Something or other. I don't know. She sleeps with her brother in the first season of Lost. Fucked up. So, but all right, John, what's your favorite seasonal movie?
All right, so I got two. I like The Ritual, Norwegian movie. Has to do with a Norse deer god that's like part person, part deer. It's a sacrifice. It's fantastic. It's all in subtitles.
I've seen the image of the creature. It's fucked up looking. It is
awesome.
I went down a list of the scariest looking creatures for movies when I was trying to find different things to watch. That one was like near the top of the list. I'm like, oh, this thing looks fucking terrifying. So
oh yeah. And I agree with Bricks. I like The Mist. I think The Mist is a great movie. It is a completely fucked up movie at the end of it, and I really enjoyed the ending of it, to be honest with you. Yeah, can't get enough of it. I love it. I love the fact that it's set in New England too. So
yeah, I can show these on the camera. There we go. That's pretty.
There you go.
Yeah, he likes The Mist. I like The Mist. The Mist is that's a good Thomas Jane movie.
Oh yeah.
You know, I haven't watched that this season. I gotta watch it.
I especially like the fact that the end of that movie is literally just, if he had just driven north instead of south, the mist would have passed by them like way quicker. But he was literally going with the mist.
Oh yeah.
As it's heading south the whole time. I fucking love that.
Also, honorable mention is The Thing. John Carpenter's The Thing. Top notch.
These are great scary movies, John, but is there anything Halloween related you like? Any of those movies? The original Halloween.
Megan, my wife Megan, she makes me watch Hocus Pocus every fucking year. So
you don't like Hocus Pocus?
I hate Sarah Jessica Parker with a passion.
Dude, I will say that is the one movie where I'm like, I wonder, like, how does Sarah Jessica Parker feel about like looking her best as a witch?
She totally does, though. She like that. She peaked in that movie.
Yep,
for sure.
Looks wise,
definitely. And and honestly, I don't think she's an attractive woman at all. But in that witch outfit,
I'll give you that, right? But I can't stand her.
And her voice when she's singing to those kids, I don't know if she actually does the same.
That is not her.
She's like the female Eric Bana for me.
You hate Eric Bana so much. Pladley says Coraline is my favorite spooky season movie. I love Coraline.
Great movie.
Written by Neil Gaiman. That's one of my favorite authors of all time. And another one that I started to watch with my daughter the other day, and she got so fucking scared when the people were like, "We just need to take your eyes." She's like, "Ah!" And I was like, "This movie, shut it off." I'm like, "You can't watch this." I don't know how they think it's a kid's movie.
Top tier.
Oh god, Dan, what's yours?
All right, so I have got scary and Halloween. Halloween, I mean, the go-to first Halloween movie that my wife and I watch is always Beetlejuice.
Mm-hmm.
I can't go spooky season without watching Beetlejuice at least once. It tends to be several times, thanks to Freeform's 31 Nights of Halloween, because it is just constantly on. But it just, everything about that movie, I could watch it over and over again, and it doesn't get old.
I love Beetlejuice. It's one of my absolute favorites. I actually want to go see the fucking play. I didn't get a chance to see it when was it even still playing? I don't know if it is, but
is it a play or a musical? I can't stand when they turn things into musicals that have no music to them.
I think it's a musical, but I love that. I think that might be my favorite Tim Burton movie, to be honest. Beetlejuice.
I want to say it's a musical as well. Yeah,
I was in Washington D.C. and I was driving past a theater that was like Beetlejuice the musical. I was like, pass.
Even though you love Beetlejuice,
I love Beetlejuice, but I don't want it to be ruined. Like they did A Christmas Story the musical. Like there's no music in that. Who's writing this shit? What are you gonna sing about? They fucking did it to Back to the Future. Not doing it. Mrs. Doubtfire.
See, those two, I agree. Like Back to the Future, I don't think it calls for a musical part of it at all. Beetlejuice, it's pretty theatrical. A lot of crazy.
Oh, well, my caveat is if I found out that Danny Elfman wrote all of the songs and lyrics for Beetlejuice the musical, I would consider it.
Okay.
Fair enough.
But I know for a fact he didn't. So fuck it.
All right. Well, you don't want to see.
As for scary movies, Cabin in the Woods.
You love
Top
Cabin. I
notch.
love Cabin in the Woods. It's a great
Cabin
movie.
in the Woods is great to me because it's not super scary, but because it has the the funny aspects to it.
Yeah.
But it also has all the good kind of gory aspects that come along with a classic slasher movie.
Yes, it's great. It's so good. It's top notch. In the beginning of the movie, it's probably my favorite intro to a scary movie ever, where it's just two guys talking in the golf cart as they're driving down that wicked long hallway, and they're having just an casual conversation about nothing, and then all of a sudden the fucking title card pops up, and it's like Cabin in the Woods. And it's so unexpected. It literally sets you up for how that movie is. It's like, oh, this movie's not serious at all.
Yeah.
But I love it. I love the mermen. That's like, I'm so glad when they show up. Mer people.
And I mean, like, Bradley Whitford's not even mad about that at that point. He's just like,
a merman.
Oh.
And then it comes for him. It's like, ah!
Yeah. You just hear like the distant, like, the slapping of the tail on the ground.
As it's eating him. Yeah. That's great. And the werewolf. I like when the werewolf, like, because the girl kind of turns on the stoner kid, and the werewolf like comes from behind and just like bites her shoulder, and she's like, oh fuck, and then she's like, you let the werewolf fucking bite me. He's like, well, you were trying to kill me, so yeah. Sorry about that. Oh man. Let's see.
Ooh. Shaun of the Dead's a good one. Pop-Up Bricks 525, other one. The intro to Ghost Ship when the wire slices everyone dancing.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That was a brutal one.
That one is whew.
What's your least favorite? If anyone has a least favorite Halloween movie, I am on record as being an adamant hater of A Nightmare Before Christmas, but my children enjoying it has made me watch it a lot more than I used to. And I liked it as a kid, but I've grown to hate Jack Skellington as a character. He's just such a fucking cunt. He literally he's not a hero. It's not a hero's journey for Jack Skellington. He's just
really
he's like, let me steal this fucking holiday from somebody else. And when I fuck it up, I'm going to realize, oh shit, you know what? I loved what I was doing. Like that's, he learns from his error, but it's like at the cost of fucking up. So yeah, I hate Jack Skellington. I don't think that there's a love story there. All of a sudden he's like, oh, Sally. Like everything's just like so last minute for Jack Skellington. There's no fucking arc. He's just a piece of shit. I fucking hate him. So that's how I feel about A Nightmare Before Christmas.
I mean, I'll give anything a shot at least once. But I mean, Duffy, I was talking to you about it. I mean, I watched Hereditary for the first time this year, and I mean, it's touted as like top 5 scariest movie in the entire world. And
not even remotely.
I am going through and like
it's just freaky.
Shit's happening, and like it's just like normal life. The grandmother died and whatever, and then all of a sudden she's forced to go to this party, and she's hanging her head out the window, and her head gets fucking taken off by a telephone pole.
I laughed so hard.
My response was to laugh. And then when she comes back as a ghost and her head rolls off of her shoulders and turns into a basketball, I laughed again. Yeah. It was just absolutely hilarious. And then I'm like, I had to watch it in like parts because I was watching it like then falling asleep because it was so fucking boring. And then I finally get to the end, and I mean, like, I have like 45 minutes left, and I'm like, how is this the scariest movie ever? I have 45 minutes left. This thing's gonna go from like 0 to 120, and I'm gonna shit my pants. And it doesn't. Toni Collette's crawling on the walls and hanging out in the ceiling and everything, and the dad burns, and he goes up into the attic, and all of a sudden there's weird, fat, naked people, and the lady in the corner just like waves to him. He jumps out the window, and then comes back to life. There's more naked people in the woods. Then the whole treehouse is filled with naked people, and I'm like, this is it. The freakiest thing was her cutting her own head off with piano wire.
Yes, that was wicked fucked up.
Yeah, because you hear the noise first, and you're like, "My God, what is that?" And then you just see her doing that, and then you're like, "Oh, okay."
You know what it is with that movie is, I agree. I don't think it's the scariest movie ever made. I don't think it's that scary. Generally, it was freaky. Like things when these people like are dying, I'm like, oh fuck, But like, it's not really even pop out scary,
No.
But what it is with that movie is when you go back, like I did like a deep dive after I watched it. I'm like, why does everyone find this movie so scary? Like, what is it about this movie? And then I like little things like the girl starts doing like these clicking sounds in the movie, and like, I'm like, why the fuck is she doing these clicking sounds? And I was wondering that when I saw it, like this is a weird tick. And all of them, if you go back through, like the shit about Pyman or whatever the fucking demon's name is,
King Pyman.
King Pyman, they're all signs of him. Like he first took over her body and started to make her click. Like that's one of the things he did. And then there's like the severed birds' heads and like all that shit. All of it through the entire movie, there's like a billion signs that this is what's happening to this family, but none of it really comes together until you see the end, right? So you would have no idea that's what was happening.
Well, I mean, it wasn't obvious enough that like the little glowing light like flew down out of the attic and went into the kid that just threw himself out of the attic window. But then they had to have him stand up, and then the first thing is just like, you're like, yeah, no shit, no shit.
Hands down, worst movie, The Happening.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes, that's terrible. That's my least favorite actor of all time in it, Mark Wahlberg.
I'm aware.
I mean, horrible acting. The premise was
terrible.
Trees.
I gotta show this.
Killing us.
This is my brother-in-law, who is Bricks525. He wrote, "Worst is Freddy vs. Jason," just for that one cringy line. Oh, dark meat. That's a bad line, but Freddy vs. Jason does have a great scene where he literally kills a guy by folding him in a bed. So, you take the good with the bad with that one, I think.
I mean, I think Jason has some of the best kills that are hilarious. Right?
Oh, the the sleeping bag into the tree.
Oh yeah.
Classic. You know what
I think
it is?
They're fantastic.
And I just saw Bill Burr do this 5-minute take where he was asking about like the scariest movies he ever saw, and he loved the first Friday the 13th. Like loved it. He goes, he's like, I've never seen a movie like that. He's like, and like for it to have been the mom who like unsuspecting that it's like the mom's the killer this whole time, like really scares the shit out of you, and then it hits you with the surprise ending where the fucking deformed body of Jason pops out of the water and grabs the girl. He's like, I never saw anything like that. He's like, and then every other movie after that was just like goofy as fuck kills and like a guy in a hockey mask. He's like, and it just really got out of control. And they really do. They had a great movie with that first one, and then the second one's kind of scary too. And he's got the sack on his head instead of the Jason mask. Like that's pretty fucking scary too. But
I think Jason Takes Manhattan is probably the best movie they've ever had.
Dude, when he punches the guy's head off on the roof.
And he kicks the ghetto blaster from the punks, just snaps it, just gives the boot, right? And then takes his mask off and scares him. Like, no, it's cool, man.
We're cool, man. We're cool. And he doesn't even kill him.
Yeah, just walks away.
That's the thing about the 80s. They had so many continuations of what are good movies. All of them do it. Like even Halloween 1. The original Halloween's fantastic. One of the best horror movies ever made. And then if you watch the subsequent sequels, Halloween 2 is okay. But like 4, 5, and 6, which are the ones right in the middle of the 80s, they are trash. Like they took these like great pockets of a killer. They just like, well, Jason's doing all this like over the top killing, so we're gonna do that in this one too.
Well, I mean, Texas Chainsaw Massacre kicks off with a dude in a wheelchair pissing into a coffee can, then getting blown down a hill. Yeah. And then they all die, and then every subsequent one, it's just bananas.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I mean, I still think that the best Nightmare on Elm Street is Dream Warriors.
That's well, Freddy. See, the first Friday the 13th, even that was not that scary. It's just kind of like weird. Freddy's a freaky character because he doesn't really show up at all. Like you don't see him he's like a shark in Jaws. Like you see him little glimpses, and then eventually he's like there, fucking slicing people up. But
there are movies that like screwed me up as a kid, right? That scene with Johnny Depp being sucked into the bed, right, and then sprayed blood against the ceiling screwed me up as a kid. I was like, I don't want to sleep, right? But then there's the movie.
That's the plot of the movie.
Then there's Killer Clowns from Outer Space, right? Again, right? I hate cotton candy and I hate popcorn. That movie, cotton candy, popcorn, done.
Mhm.
They got no issues with clowns. Cotton candy and popcorn is vile.
I've never seen
The scariest thing in Killer Clowns from Outer Space for John was the cotton candy and the popcorns, not
right.
the Killer Clowns.
He was terrified that many people were eating that stuff. I never saw Terrifier. I guess that's pretty scary.
Excellent movie.
Gruesome.
I've heard that as well.
It's not. I would say because I know that you don't like gore for gore's sake. It is a gore for gore's sake type of movie.
Yeah,
though.
that's
It's top notch.
I love a scary movie. But
Duffy, you don't like gore for gore's sake, and you love The Boys.
yeah, well, that's like comic book gore. It's not the same thing. Like I can take superhero gore. I don't like body transformation movies. I will never watch Human Centipede. And even
Brutal.
when Smith made this movie, I will never watch The Walrus because
Awful.
anything with a
Tusk. I
human
think it's called
being
Tusk, actually.
being like sewn into somebody else or something else, fuck that. I can't watch that shit. And I can't watch torture movies. I can't do any of that shit. I can watch a killer stalking somebody and killing them. I know that's what Terrifier is, but I don't know. It's just, I hear that that's so gory and gruesome that I don't think I could watch it. I'll probably throw up. So,
It is pretty brutal. It's not as brutal, like to me, it's not as brutal as the Hostel blowtorch scene with the eyeball.
oh
right?
God.
That screwed me up. I was like, I can't watch this.
That was like a VHS rental from maybe not Blockbuster. It must have been Blockbuster. But like when I first started dating Sarah, my wife, like she literally we rented Hostel. I'm like, oh yeah, this is wicked scary, and we'll watch it. It was just fucking gruesome. And we got sandwiches from Giovanni's. and I was like, I can't even eat my sandwich. These people are getting their eyeballs fucking blowtorched out and then cutting them with scissors. Fuck that.
You shouldn't have got the meatball parmesan there.
It was an Italian, but it still made me fucking sick.
Oh,
I guess I don't have any other like setup questions really, but I thought of one today that we could end on, which is, what is the one like scary movie killer that you would wish you could square off with? Like if you had to square off with one of them, who would you pick? Or like which of these killers or creatures or whatever would you think I have my best chance of surviving against that one?
easy. This is an easy response.
All right, let John take it because
It's Ghostface. It's just a fucking person, man.
But there's usually two of them.
I think my chances. It's still a person.
I want to take on a slow zombie.
Not like a 28 days later.
Not like
fire.
28 days later. Those things are too damn fast. But like
just one though, right?
Slow zombie. I think I could easily do slow zombie.
A slow zombie would be a good one.
Like I mean, like Zombieland zombies.
Yeah.
Even give me a couple.
Hmm.
As long as I have enough bullets and I've been practicing long enough.
Slow zombie's probably a good one. I thought about it. I probably, even though he does have the advantage of like hiding in small places, I think I could take Chucky pretty easily. If you know you're going up against Chucky, right, and he's after you, and you can set it up in a way that you're like, all right, well, we're gonna go to an empty warehouse floor, and I'm gonna beat him. So that's my thought on Chucky.
I'd stick him down at garbage disposal.
Yeah. Or if we're going
classic
monsters, I'd go against the Mummy more than anything. It's not like the Mummy with Brandon Fraser where it's like fucking supernatural powers and shit, but like just a guy in fucking bandages like that. What's he gonna do? Those are my two: Chucky and the Mummy.
Chucky and the Mummy.
So
you didn't give me enough time to think about it, but I'm sticking with slow zombie.
my brother-in-law goes, it would have to be Chucky. It's just a stuffed doll, guys. Just punt it.
Yeah, but for some reason he can fly
across the room.
Yeah, didn't you see the what is it, the first one where he like just all of a sudden like flies across
airborne
the room and lands on that fucking lady and he's nuts.
No. See, he says leprechaun. Absolutely not. That thing made a pot of gold appear in someone's stomach and he clawed it out. Yes. Absolutely not.
Too magical. Too magical. Dude, you can't do shit against magic.
No. No.
You know, it's no. Like my wife's mother-in-law there has porcelain dolls, right? And Duffy, I think I told you a story once, but I was staying at her place for the night, and she went ahead and left one of those fucking things on the kitchen table facing the room I was sleeping in, right? And it was dark. I came out to take a piss in the hall, in the bathroom, and that's across the hall, right? I see that thing on the thing. I stopped at my tracks, and I was like, and I had to make sure it wasn't gonna fucking move.
Yeah,
because like I was like, absolutely not. Because I came back out and I immediately checked down the hall to see if it moved. I was like, absolutely not. Fuck that. Because her grandmother, my wife's grandmother, had she had her living room lined from floor to fucking ceiling across the entire way of porcelain dolls. And I was like, no,
scary.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, dude, I fucking hate dolls. They're wicked scary. They're not even like cute. They've always been scary. I don't understand even if I grew up in the fucking Great Depression and all that's all you had, I'd be like, I don't want them in my house.
Well, your doll would have been made out of a corn husk in the Great Depression.
Yeah.
But I don't mess with. I'm not dealing with possessed dolls. My grandfather used to torture me with Chucky. He would call me. He would call me around this time of year. God rest him. Nah, he was kind of an asshole. He would call me around this time of year, and he would say, "Danny, go look out the front window. Chucky's running down the street." Dude would never fucking talk to me. Wouldn't talk to me. Would call me fat and lazy. But every October, he'd be fucking calling me, telling me that Chucky's running down the street and he's gonna come fucking kill me.
Oh, Jesus.
Yep.
My brother-in-law, he used to have a cabin up in New Hampshire, and they still have it. But I remember going up there when I was a kid, and we're sitting around the campfire, and he started telling this story. And he made I don't know if this was ever a real person in the news stories or anything or somewhere in the world, but he started telling me the story of fucking this guy, Chippy Zulu. It was like he's like, they found Chippy Zulu in the shed with chicken bones, and like, it was scary. But for some reason, like, I couldn't sleep. I was like, oh, fucking Chippy's out there, Chippy Zulu.
Chippy's gonna get me.
It stuck with me forever, Chippy Zulu. And they're like, Kev, before bed, he's like, you mind going out? I left my can outside, my coffee cup. Will you go get it? Like, I'm not going outside. Chippy Zulu's out there. It's terrifying. But kids can get so easily scared, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I can scare my kids just by looking behind them and being like, they'll what? What? I'm like, come on, you kids are so easy.
Well, right. I mean, in fairness, my youngest son Lachlan, right? There are times where he comes to my room and like there'll be a nightlight silhouetting him from behind, right? And he's just standing there like this, like he's like 10 feet wide, and I'm just like, absolutely not. And I'm like, get out. So
that's good stuff.
My kids scare me.
All right, that's going to end this episode. I think it's a good place to end it. So this is the Randumb Things Podcast, episode 1. Thank you, two, for coming on with me. We'll more topics next time we do this. Anybody who's watching this video, please do me a huge favor. Click the like button, subscribe to the channel. Check us out on soon-to-be Spotify. I'll get it up probably by the end of this week. And if you're going to listen to us there, just download and leave us a comment. That's going to do it for us, though. So we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.
Happy Halloween!